In order to transfer your graph to Excel, if you would like to print it out so that you can print it and paste it on poster paper instead of having to write it down, once you're done with your Desmos graph and everything is continuous and differentiable, you come up here to the corner in this little gear icon. If you would like to, you can get rid of the access numbers so that you don't see the numbers on there. You can also get rid of some of the grid lines so that you don't have to see those grid lines as well. You can unclick this grid box if you want to unclick the grid box. You can unclick the X and Y axis, and that way you just have an image of your roller coaster so that when you print it into Excel, it looks nice. So you can come up here, there's a little button up here that says Share Graph. If you click on that, you can export the image. So I think it looks nice if you view it as a large rectangle. So I would change it to a large rectangle. And I like it when the line appears a little bit more thick. So you can push thick and download as PNG. Once you download it as a PNG, you can copy and paste that into an Excel document. So if you don't have Excel, this may not work. I couldn't figure out how to do it in Google Sheets. So if Excel doesn't work for you, then this might not work either. So you can see my coaster is here. And I want to print this, and I would like to print it probably over 3 pieces of paper so that when I actually go to put it on a piece of poster paper, it's nice and long so that I can wrap it around as my 3D project. So in order to do that, you come up here to File, go to Print or Page Setup. I'll start at Page Setup. And again, it depends on what version of Excel you have, so you might have to be creative in how you do this, but at least on my computer, this is how I do it. So kind of figure it out as you go along. So landscape is probably the better mode so that we can kind of print it lengthwise. So I'm going to click on landscape in order to change that over. And then I go right here to scaling. So if you can find something in your Excel that looks like scaling, and you can change it to fit to. So if you put fit to, I like to do 1 page tall so that it'll take up 1 page in terms of its height, but in terms of its width, I want it to take up 3 pages. All right, so I can change it to 3 pages wide, and I can push OK. And if you want to, you can actually go ahead and make this a little bit longer so that when you do print it, it actually prints out nice and clear, I guess you could say. So that way, if you make it longer and you kind of expand it, when you do print it over 3 pages, it'll actually take up the room of 3 pages. So you might have to play around with that a little bit. You might want to even crop this picture. I can see there's a lot of extra room, so the more I crop it, the better it'll be. And then when you go to print it, it should print 1 page high, but 3 pages long. So you can kind of see in my little preview box when I do that. Here's the first part of the graph, and then when I go to the next part, it shows me the middle of it. When I go to the next part, oh, it's missing because my crop isn't very good, but if I did crop it, it would be spread out over 3 pages, which would be nice. And then at the very end, when it actually prints out, you just kind of cut vertically off the border. So cut the border off as much as possible and then tape them together so that you have one clear picture of your roller coaster. And then when you're done, you'll just kind of wrap it around and tape it all together like a 3D image. So from here, I would just push print if I was ready to print it. If you have questions, please let me know. I'm not sure how much I'll be able to answer from a distance, but I'll do the best that I can. And like I said, if worst comes to worst and you can't figure out how to do this and actually printing it lengthwise that way, then I would say just hand draw it. Not a big deal at all. This is just if you would like to have it computer generated.